Hi, I'm MJ Hecox here at Leopold's, where we pair wine with books. For this month's Cooking with the Cap Times, we've selected a bottle from Spain, where food and wine pair naturally. Spain has a long history of winemaking, dating back to the Phoenicians, 1100 BCE or earlier, when they were planting vines. For this particular tasting, we've selected L'Etoile, which is a Basque frizzante rosé, because Chef Tory Miller has created a menu that is a very light springtime paella and tapas. We thought this would complement the salmon, the gambas, and the tomato in the paella quite well. At the same time, it has a very acidic backbone, which should be refreshing for the yogurt and the cream sauce. We invite you to learn more at the website, leopoldsmadison.com.
Hey folks, my name's Travis and I wanted to introduce you to Provision, a new specialty market that we opened up at the Pasquale's on East Washington Avenue. So we're a place that you can pick up some of your Pasquale's favorites, salsas, chips, dips, sauces, prepared meal kits, and other prepared foods, as well as grocery items to complete your taco night or an Italian dinner, pastas, pasta sauces, and of course spirits, margarita supplies, craft beer, local, imported. Put together some gift sets for holiday time. Local treats from folks like Gail Ambrosius and Nutcrack. Yeah, we're just hoping to become a nice neighborhood spot when you're stopping in for a meal or live in the neighborhood and need something to bring to a dinner party or just finish Taco Tuesday. So we hope to see you soon.
Rock and roll. Welcome to Cooking with the Cap Times. I'm Chelsea DeCane-Jarabic, the social media and marketing director here. I'm going to pass it off to Lindsay Christians, our food editor, and Chef Tory Miller in just a sec. But first, I wanted to give thanks to our sponsors who help make this event happen every month. And this month is extra special because, and thank you all for your patience at home, this is a very special spring membership drive event. So everyone watching at home and all of those who are here with us today in person are Cap Times members. We also have some Cap Times staff here who we love. And we want to thank you all for your continued support of local journalism and our newsroom. If you want to make, now I'm not going to ask you to, and I shouldn't even be mentioning this, but if you want to make an additional contribution to support this program, go to membership.captimes.com. If you give any amount, make sure you make a note in there that you love Cooking with the Cap Times, and that contribution will go towards this program. Tonight we have Chef Tory Miller of L'Etoile and Graze, and he's going to be making some very delicious paella dish and beyond, right?
And beyond.
And beyond. Okay, so our sponsors. So tonight we are live here in Madison at Kessenich. Kessenich is a place where you can shop like a chef. They're open to the public, so head to their website for more information about them and their business hours. You can get a lot of really cool things here for your kitchen at home, and they are our official kitchen sponsor of Cooking with the Cap Times. Our other sponsors are our presenting sponsor, Pasquale's Cantina, and our, who is her sponsor? So we got wine. I almost forgot. Our official wine pairing sponsor is Leopold's Books Bar Cafe. Make sure you pop into their spot on Regent Street. They have an amazing selection of books and wine. You can purchase wine there to take home or enjoy a glass at the counter. And they also are a delicious coffee bar, so you can get some really yummy lattes and things there. A couple people at home tonight are going to be taking home a bottle of the wine that's featured. So I think in the past we've done the most interesting question wins the bottle. Is that what we want to do tonight?
I like that. I want you to
it.
pick it though. I want you to pick it.
So ask questions at home in the Zoom chat, and at the end of the event we'll pick a winner to take home a bottle of wine that you can pick up right at Leopold's. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to our food editor, Lindsay Christians, and Chef Tory Miller.
Thank you, Chelsea. Thank you, Tory, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I do want to really quick put in a plug for this wine. It is perfect for Concerts on the Square. which is coming up in like 2 days, the first one. So
We call it a porch pounder at my house.
yes,
You know what I
exactly
mean?
right. Yeah.
It's really delicious. I love it.
So you have been in Madison now since what?
2003.
2003.
Yeah.
Okay, been
oh
a
my
minute.
gosh. I'm V old.
It's almost 20 years.
I know. 3 children, 3 restaurants, a bakery, a pandemic.
I mean,
You
yeah.
know, what else do you want?
So you have Graze and you have L'Etoile. Can you talk a little bit about like where those restaurants are like right now? Like a little bit maybe about how they've evolved since you've
Oh
owned them.
man, you know, I think the pandemic obviously changed us all like in a lot of ways. Like we did a lot of weird stuff. I think you know, we're still recovering from that, and I think a lot of people don't, you know, really fully understand that we are still in it, especially when you're in an industry like ours, or when you go to like in the healthcare industry and things like that. They still see it all the time. We've had to shut down multiple times because if you're short-staffed already, and then 5 people get the COVID, you can't open.
Yeah.
You can't do it. I mean, I'm already, you know, I'm not even exaggerating. Like that stuff happens. So I think like where we are now is like, it used to be like, yes, if you want it, yes. And now it's just maybe. I'll give you a solid maybe that we'll do it. And then, you know, always like I say to my wife all the time, who's our pastry chef, Christine, she, you know, I'm always like, look, if it's gonna like make us suffer in any way to like have to do the thing, because she'll be like, oh, I'll get up at midnight or whatever, and I'll be like, no, man, like maybe we just don't have it. We just don't have that thing that you have to do that for. So like the same for me, like I choose more like as a chef now, I choose more obviously my family and, you know, my personal stuff first, and then everything else after that. So that's kind of, and then, you know, obviously like for my staff, we always try to keep them the safest and that sort of stuff. So like we still wear masks in our restaurant, and, you know, we still, like I said, we've done a lot of things to like get through COVID, but mostly now like we're feeling healthy again as restaurants, and we are actually starting to see, if you talk to any restaurant person right now, you'd be like, oh God, the staffing. But we are actually starting to see a lot of applications, and a lot more people coming out that are ready to work again and do that sort of stuff. So
That's really cool.
yeah.
One of the things I've always loved about how you work is how you will get like really excited about certain things. So like at Sujo, it was like late night stuff. You know, obviously the tapas and the small bites at Estrion and some of these kinds of things. Like with Miller Family Meat and 3, you were doing this sort of like, you know,
Yeah.
the meat and the sides
The
and
soul
the
food, Southern food.
So you're doing you just have all these sort of different directions that you're going in. There are things specifically that I miss still from like Sujo, for example.
Yeah, me too, man. And I make it all the time. Like I make stuff at home, or like I'll make it in the restaurant. And
Yeah, the kohlrabi salad I will love until I die. Like, so there are things like that. But the paella at Estrion is one that, like the market paella, it was
Right.
always different. So is that part of why you wanted to do this, to like bring something like that back a little bit?
yeah, you know, like having watched, you know, some of the episodes of this show.
Yeah.
You know, can we call it a show?
Oh God,
Maybe.
it feels like pressure. I don't know.
No, like having watched a couple of them and like knowing, you know, it's like I want to teach someone how to cook at home.
Yeah, yeah.
This is something that like we would do at home. This is like exactly how I would do it at home if I was having some people over, or like a couple of hundred people watching me at home. You know, it's one of those things where like I want people to be able to think about the technique, but also like see that it's not, it doesn't have to be, it can be as hard or as easy as you want it to be.
Right.
So paella is one of those things. And then thinking about that, I was like, there's nothing better in the summer than tapas and tapas parties. And like, now that we are having people over again, sort of, now that we're doing that again, I think it's great to be like, I'm just gonna make a bunch of little things. Everyone can just like mix and match and share. And that's why I love Spanish food. And that's why we opened Estrion. I really wanted that kind of communal place. So, and there's nothing better than paella for that. So
Yeah,
that's what we're
yeah.
doing that.
I was saying, I think before we got started, that the only time I've tried to make paella, I like borrowed a pan from a friend and we did it on the grill. And it was really fun. And it takes a while, right?
Yeah.
So it's something that's kind of fun, like to be out there grilling and to have some of these little small bites.
Yeah, well, and
Like-
that's like the other thing. I think for paella especially, like it takes about 40 minutes. So you have like 30 minutes of cooking time, at least 10 minutes of resting time. And that's like if you have an army of people that like get your meat up. Like, just kidding, it was just me. It was all me. But you know what I mean? Like if you go to the farmer's market and you have a ton of vegetables, you can just chuck it all in the paella. And it takes like that amount of time. But then while you're doing that, and everyone's always in the kitchen anyway, or like around the grill or whatever,
Yeah.
then you can just be like, I'm gonna also, while that's going, I'll make some simple things that you guys can do. So hopefully, I always say that though. I'm always like, it's simple. And then we were joking before, and it's like 1 eternity later. Dinner. So everyone's in it for the long haul. You might be 3 to 5 hours.
Oh my God. All right.
Just kidding. It'll be 1 hour. I'm in it.
All right. Well, where do you want to start?
We're gonna actually start with the paella because obviously that's what we need to get going. When you think about paella, for me, first, it's about building flavors, but there has to be a disclaimer to everyone watching and everyone here. I'm not Spanish. I'm not from Spain. I was not born in Spain. I did not grow up eating Spanish food. This is paella how I like to make it. We have run the gamut of there's one that's called the Valenciana. Paella Valenciana is like one of my favorites. My absolute favorite one is wild mushroom and rabbit with peas that I've had in Spain. And so I don't want anyone to be like calling the paella police, like there's an Asian guy. There's an Asian making paella in Madison, and he's ruining it.
I already got one email being like, well, this isn't the kind of paella that I like, so. And I was like,
right,
that's fine. Like,
right, and it's like there's no seafood
it's okay.
in this one really. But two things, So first, it starts with the rice. I use a bomba rice. It looks like this. And I always joke. I'm always joking about food, but like in this one, if you can't get this rice, don't make paella. I would only use the bomba rice or a rice that says specifically for paella, right? This is a paella pan. This is called a paella, right? So the dish is not paella, the pan is what you cook it in. So like technically, this is called paella rice. When you use the rice, you can use fideos or noodles to cook in here. You can roast a chicken in here and call it paella chicken, but the people get caught up. It's like, well, paella has to be a certain thing. Nah, it doesn't.
it's like tagine.
Yeah, I mean, you can do whatever you want, really. I mean, I like to do it this way, so I'm gonna show you guys this way. Start with some vegetables. I always say dice everything up, but we keep it real. Like at my house, like ain't nobody got time for that. So, food processor. I have some small carrots, some tomato. Also, like while you're keeping score at home, I did not make a sofrito. So again, paella police, let me know about it in the comments.
So that is tomatoes, carrots.
Some orange bell pepper, some garlic. No more garlic.
There's green in there.
Yeah, and then celery.
Celery.
A quick question. Nancy said, what are the qualities of the rice that make it perfect for paella?
It basically, it absorbs liquid a little bit slower, and then so it holds its shape really well, so it doesn't become mush. Whereas like if you want to,
Lauren, help.
Lauren,
I think it,
I don't know how to do anything. Oh, it's fine now. I'm a professional. That's the thing that makes it perfect for paella, is that it definitely absorbs the liquid better, so it doesn't become mushy.
is it like a medium grain, sort of like an arborio?
Yeah, it looks a lot like arborio, but don't be fooled.
I mean, that's what I have used.
As I said, it's way faster to just use this guy. So I'm gonna start heating my pans. Maybe. Full disclosure, never been in this kitchen before, so that's also very fun. So the rest of the stuff for the paella, while the pan's heating up, you want to start with this mirepoix. Some people make a sofrito, but I think for this paella in particular, I want to taste the spring vegetables. I want to taste the flavors. So sometimes the sofrito can be very thick, like tomato paste. Sometimes people actually just use tomato paste instead of sofrito, which you can. You could add all that to this. But basically, I'm just going to use this to flavor my rice. And then I have some chicken stock that I bought. And then because we're making some gambas al Ajillo later, I had some shrimp and shells. So I took the shells off, chucked that in there. I'm using some chicken today. Rotisserie chicken from an unnamed grocer. That is not a sponsor of this show.
We don't have grocery sponsors. Nobody wants to sign on yet.
Metcalfs, get at us.
I shredded pulled this meat. So at my house, like I roast chickens, at least a chicken a week. And now that, like my kids used to be a lot smaller, but when they were really small, like there would always be chicken left over. Now I have one giant human that's a 12-year-old that is like, where's the rest of the chicken? And I'm contemplating 2 chickens. But basically, I took all that stuff, chucked it in this pot with some water and some shrimp shells and store-bought chicken stock, and just to get some flavor in there, because that all is going to flavor the rice. But then you have all these vegetables, and then, like I said, spring vegetables are here. Use whatever you have or whatever you find. I like these turnips in there. These are white salad turnips. We have like some of the last of the best asparagus that I have.
It's like purple.
I always have to have peas. I don't know, it's one of those things like fried rice always has peas in it. I always have to have some rice with peas in my rice. Chanterelle mushrooms, just cause. They were in there. And then we have some things for garnish that we're gonna do later. The other thing we use to flavor this little guy is a little bit of Spanish pimenton or smoked paprika. And that's it. So, heat your pan. It's hot. Then you put your oil, and when you put this in, you wanna cover the bottom of it. And everyone thinks, oh my God, the oil. Yeah, Spanish. I use Spanish Arbequina olive oil. It's the only olive oil I use.
It is the best. It's my favorite.
Resternelle. And I'm gonna start with my vegetables.
They're almost like a paste. They're pretty chopped fine.
I'm making 2 instead of 1 because, you know, we're hungry.
Do you have a suggestion of where to go to get the Bamba rice?
Steve's in Madison.
Steve's has
especially
it.
on University. That's where I would go. When you're thinking about your rice, it's 1 cup of rice, 4 cups of stock or water, and that'll almost always work. If you don't have a paella pan, which a lot of people are like, well, then it can't be paella, which I said, call the police, right? Use a casserole, use a pan. I've used saute pans, like a non-sticks at home. That's fine. The reason why the paella pan works so well is because it's sloped like that, and it allows for the evaporation of the liquid, and just makes it like cook the rice perfectly while all the rest of the stuff is cooking. So you're layering flavors. Salt. Put some in your food. Just once in a while. Chef Lauren, do you have a pepper mill? Or a pepper?
I have a pepper. And about that oil, can you repeat the name of the oil again?
L'Etoile. L'Etoile olive oil from Spain, Arbequina olives. You can buy it at the co-op.
You can buy it at the co-op. That's where I buy it.
Okay.
Arbequina. Arbequina.
So, layering flavors. This guy has those veg. There, I chopped them up very. Do you have all of the pepper? Everyone else has no pepper. It's only at Kessenich's. If you need it, that's where it is. I'm just gonna put some in, just a little bit. Thanks for that.
Scarcity mindset around here.
I feel you. So layering those flavors, like I said, I'm gonna add the pimenton now, paprika. Use a nice. I use pimenton de la vera, which is also available at Steve's, and I think it has like a really great pure smoked paprika flavor. Next, I am going to add the mushrooms. So like if you were doing like raw chicken in this, you could add chicken thighs to this right now.
Would you chop it up?
Yeah, I would whack up some chicken and throw it in if you don't have like a pre-made roasted chicken. So that goes in.
One more quick question on the oil. Our viewers at home like to get in the weeds with some of these things. They want to know the differences. So about the Spanish oil and
Yes.
an olive oil, what is the major differences? Better smoke point, subtle flavor?
It is
All
an
the
olive oil.
flavor, I think. To me, like the olive oil smoke pointer isn't going to change, but I think the taste to me has like no bitterness. Like you can use this to cook with, to finish with. It's great for salad dressings. Sometimes you ever make a salad dressing with all olive oil and it just tastes bitter. Too much pepperiness, right? Like we never make mayonnaises with olive oil in the restaurant because it's just too much. But this L'Etoile is very mellow and mild, and I love it for that.
It has a little bit of a green flavor, but it's also pretty buttery, so it's really well balanced, I think.
I love it. I love
Yeah,
it so much.
it's very good.
So this is like the only time you see me measuring. I measure nothing. But follow the recipe if you're following along at home. Don't
So
Don't do what I do.
Nancy said, whoever thought the place to get rice is the liquor store. You said Steve.
Oh yeah.
It is.
If
If you
Yeah.
happen to be at the liquor store.
Listen, y'all,
It makes sense.
I checked every grocery store in Madison. I just want you to know that.
there was drama.
Literally.
There was drama involved.
I
Steve
checked it.
said
I
it.
checked them all, and I don't mind that. I do it for you. But like I did. I checked everybody, and Steve's had it, and you can also get it on the internet. let's
Lori
be honest.
said it could be, or also is at the Seafood Center on Whitney Way.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
I didn't know of that place.
And Meat People has some random stuff sometimes, and like,
Some of those little.
yeah, it's sometimes surprising where you can find things. But yeah, Steve's.
Okay. Once you add your rice, this is like when it's like go time. So like if people are like around, just be like, yeah, whatever. I gotta go. So you're stirring it to coat it in the oil, and then you're gonna have already strained your stock. Sorry, Lindsay.
Oh my gosh.
Also, Orange Tree Imports, it sounds like carries Bomber rice. So we're getting some, we'll make a list, all
Nice.
these places.
Oh my God. Hi, everything's fine.
I wanted to warn you that's not plum.
No,
But you
I'm
were
not.
going
Yeah,
into
no,
a
it's
container.
in the thing.
You are a professional. Gotcha.
So then we go in with our liquid.
Oh, it smells amazing. It's really, really fragrant. Is the heat
If you
on
don't
high?
have any, if you don't have enough, let's say, we like to call this pipe stock. Comes right out of there. Comes right out of the pipe. It's also called profit. Free money. No. So that goes in, and then you wanna. This is like the only point where I'm gonna stir, just to make sure that that stuff is distributed. Oh my God. It's my first time here. True story, when I did this little show called Iron Chef, and
That
I
little
had to
show.
juice beets, and the first thing I did, I'm like juicing these beets, and it literally just like went on. It looked like I murdered everyone. And I was like, oh my God, and I'm like trying to clean, and they were really cool about it, but I was like, thanks for editing. So if you're using a stove that you've never used before, or one that you know that has like hot spots or not as hot, just you want to try to adjust so that they're going. If you're doing more than one, obviously, so if you can't control it, get them going at the same time and at the same rate.
It's on pretty medium, like what, medium high at this point, or are you gonna lower
so
it?
I would say this one is cranked. This one is like medium, which is where you want. You want a nice, consistent thing. And then at this point, I'm not going to stir that again. I'm just going to be shaking it a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of salt right now.
You want to see active bubbles?
You want to see active bubbles.
Okay.
And then this is when you want to taste, because your rice is going to taste like this liquid, right? Oh. One tastes a little more watery than the other one. Oh, still really good. That's it, everybody. Thanks for Paella. That's how you make it. So we have these other vegetables that are going to go in later because they're softer. They're not. You don't want them to cook them to death. Meanwhile, we're going to start our other stuff. So first thing we're going to do is our olives, marinated olives. This was like a really big challenge for me to edit it myself because I love all of the food. I love it all. Can't tell? You know. I love all kinds of food, so I was like, oh, if we're gonna do Spanish, we gotta have seafood, we gotta have something fried, we gotta have something on bread, we gotta have tomato bread, we gotta have all, and then I was like, whoa. It's fine, I got an hour. So,
Tomato bread is my favorite.
tomato bread, pan con tomate, when you get it in season, when the tomatoes come in season, piece of bread, toast it, rub a raw tomato on it, salt, maybe olive oil.
The best thing in the entire world. It's so good.
Super good.
We did have someone ask, I feel like I know the answer, but why do you add salt at 2 different times? Is it just to know how much salt you're putting?
Yeah, so like the beginning one is just to start softening the veg.
Okay.
And then the next one is to season the liquid.
Okay. Thanks, Susan.
It changes how it cooks, basically.
Okay.
So so the salt will start to break down the vegetables and make them softer, which is what you want in the beginning of cooking for something like this, because you don't want like crunchy, like carrot, tomato, pepper flavor. So I like the spicy food. I'm gonna use chili de árbol. I like to use, so the important thing here is cold pan.
Cold pan.
And then we're gonna put some olive oil.
Again,
some
like a full
garlic.
coating on the bottom.
Full coating on the bottom. Yeah. Don't be
I'm so timid about my oil.
oil police. put the salt, put the oil. You're making Spanish food, for Christ's sake. Like, what are you?
Does having
How often are you doing that?
garlic in there, like having it in a cold pan, make it less likely to burn?
It's less likely to burn, but what it's gonna do, and this is like the same way, like I make my tomato sauce the same way. Put these things in here, and then it's the slow extraction as it heats up, makes it, I guess, pull more flavor out of the thing. So a little bit of rosemary, and then turn it on. Maybe. It's just how we do it at L'Etoile also. So I'm gonna keep messing with those things while they're going, just because like I do want them to kind of go, at the same rate. So the middle one took a little bit of time to catch up, but now it's going pretty well. I'm gonna slowly start to heat this up. Chef Lauren, what are we plating the olives in? Do we have little bowls? 2 per group? 1 per group?
And do you require plates? Ideally, probably bowls for the paella.
Well, I think plates for the paella would be good, but like for the olives and
We
the
need a little bowl.
and the shrimps, we're gonna need bowls because it's all about the dip.
Oh, wait.
I am very needy. Everyone knows that I'm super needy. So we talk about this in our kitchen all the time. Like, we don't listen to a lot of music or anything like that. It's not that I'm like anti-music. I love it. But if you're in a loud kitchen, like, you want to be able to hear the stuff that's happening. You want to be able to hear this little bubble of the paella, because as the bubbles start to diminish, that's when you know it's getting close. When you start to hear the sizzle of these herbs and the chilies, you know you're going to get close. I don't know, I guess.
They're definitely sizzling, yeah.
I saw some little gray balls in there that would be great for the shrimps, maybe.
Heidi had a question. They said, I've heard that garlic really needs to be chopped, not pushed through a garlic press. What's the reasoning behind it?
Garlic press police? I don't know.
You can do both then,
You
Peggy.
can do both. Those would be great for the
Field-powered.
shrimp.
It,
No,
do
no.
both.
It
We
does
can- you can put 'em
different
right here,
things
though.
to the cell walls and the garlic, so it will make it taste different. If you're using a sharp knife, you're not crushing the cell walls
Right.
of the
Sure.
garlic. So it's different and it'll taste different.
Sure.
My whole thing is like, how are you going to eat it, right? So like for this, I have olives, I have chili, I have rosemary, I got like a big chunk of orange. I'm not trying to eat the garlic that's in there. I'm trying to flavor the oil. So like to me, that's why I use the slices. So like if I ever want to like pick it out, if I want it just in there, then I'm just going, I'll mince it, or like, I don't have a garlic press.
I do not either.
An interesting thing about me is like I really hate peeling garlic. It's like everyone's like, well, what's your pet peeve in the kitchen? It's like peeling garlic and onions because the skins just are floating around everywhere.
Oh, yeah, they're
And then
so
like
light. Yeah,
stuck
yeah,
to
yeah.
everything forever. God, it drives me crazy, man. Just thinking about
Yes,
it. I peeled all this garlic and I was just like, dude.
You can get chili de árbol, I believe they have them at Woodman's, like they have the dried chilies at
Okay.
Woodman's.
You see,
But they're
can
pretty
you
easy
see
to
that?
find.
There's just starting to get a little bit of golden brown on the garlic. Don't take it farther than that. Throw some oranges in there. It's gonna stop it from doing anything. And then I have some red wine vinegar. Why red wine vinegar? Because I'm using sherry vinegar in the other thing. I don't want to do it again. Plus red wine vinegar, olives, super delicious. I'm gonna add that. That's all off the heat. Take the pan off the heat. It's gonna be Flame City if you know. And at this point, I'm just gonna kill it. That's it. Chuck in some olives.
The rosemary and the orange together feel very Christmassy to me. Like it's like very kind of piney and
Then-
Yeah, you've got them. You should already have them. Yeah. Everybody at home should have the recipes too, yes?
Yes,
Hope.
if anybody still needs the recipe, we can post it in the chat at home. And if anybody here, I will email it to you
Yes.
exclusively.
So I like.
Email.
I'm gonna need. They need like little plates for bread. Thanks.
Dan has a question. If you
Yeah,
good
Dan,
time.
you fired off, buddy.
Did you use recipes during your? Maybe do you use recipes from your early years or in training?
Do I
Did
use
you
recipes?
use recipes during your early years or in training? Maybe he's
Like,
wondering.
did you when you
Like, do I follow them? That's like a funny line to me. It's in place. Like Ratatouille has unlimited time in my brain forever. It lives rent free up in there, and I think about that all the time. It's like you follow the recipe, and then it's like, but then it's like a real chef improvises. And it's like, okay, so like then it's like no, you don't improvise. You always follow the recipe, which is very true. Like I think like I don't know. I think it's like if you get too caught up in following exactly the recipe, I think things can get a little weird. And you can start to, either overthink it and then it tastes like a robot made it. Maybe. I don't know. That's just me.
And speaking of your olives that you're dishing out, Nancy and Thomas asked, what kind of olives are you using?
I'm using a mix of olive. There's some Spanish, some Greek, and I couldn't find in Madison any non-pitted olives for sale that were at like those olive bars. You know what I'm talking about. So if you can find pitted ones, those are best for this. But if you can't, just use some yummy olives that you like. You can literally use any kind. Don't buy like martini olives. Those are for something else. And then I'm saving like all this brine and the olive juice and everything. I'm gonna put this over here because I don't know what else to do with it.
That's fine. That's good.
And I love to like dip my bread into this. So this is where this kind of thing comes in.
This is so good for dinner parties because I am always behind when I'm cooking for people. I'm always running late. And having stuff like this that you can just sort of warm up is really lovely.
Yeah.
You're like, eat this, I'm not done.
Right,
You don't need to
speaking of
garnish that. I'm not
that,
garnishing that.
Sally asked, oh no, that's
Would you
another
mind
question.
handing me
Questions
that?
are
Of course,
rolling in, you guys.
yes.
Valerie asked,
People want
Chef-
that wine. I like it. I like the energy.
I know, I think so.
What happened? No.
Lauren,
It's not
Chef-
all about you, okay? Lauren?
Valerie asked, Chef, what is your favorite dish to cook at home for family or friends? Like
Oh
Lindsay
my
mentioned, this
gosh.
is a good one.
This one is a good one. I think the thing that I make the most at home probably is, gosh, that's a tough one. Spaghetti and meatballs, maybe?
You can ponder it.
Yeah, no, it's
Keep them on their toes. Wait till the end. Tune in at the end of the
tune
episode
in to find out
out
what do I do at home.
his favorite dish.
Notice I snuck that in there for me.
What? Yeah, I know, like the one vegan thing.
I know. I was like, you can't forget about.
Okay, here we go. So yeah,
Lauren, yeah. Thank you.
obviously that's something that you could have done and just like have it around. So when your people come over, you're just like, I'm gonna make paella, and then like you guys just snack on all this stuff. Spanish food is a big cheat like that because you can just get like sliced meats, some cheeses, fresh like bread, anything like that. Full disclosure, if you have bread at home, like a baguette, and it's not super fresh, run it under the water, run it under the sink like really quick, both sides. 1, 2, 1, 2, both sides. Chuck it in a 350 oven, 10 minutes. Nice crunch on the outside, and you're always gonna have a nice crusty bread then.
I do this constantly because I can never eat bread before it goes stale. So just a little bit of water, 350.
Same thing
That's
for
a
me.
pro tip.
Yeah, so same thing for me. Like with bagels, like if you buy bagels on the weekend, and if you happen to be good friends with the guy that's making the bagels, maybe he gives you a whole bag of them, and it's like, come on, who's eating all those bagels? But for me, that's like really, really rad. And then you can just run them underwater, chuck them in the oven. They're nice and chewy and delicious.
I just got bare bones bagels from the Northside Farmers Market, Lisa Jacobson. They're amazing. Bare bones
tried those
bagels.
yet.
So good.
Get them.
Personal endorsement. She's so amazing.
So what's happening with the paella? I would say it's about a little under halfway there. I'm still not messing with anything really. I'm gonna just keep shaking it, and then as I shake it, you start to see more of the rice and less of the liquid on top. And that's when you know, like if you were adding shellfish to this, you would want to add your mussels now. Clams would go in, first clams then mussels. I usually do, if I'm doing seafood, I would do clams first, and then once they open, I add the mussels. If you want to just like whack up this chicken because it's already cooked, you can do that. This feels very chickeny to me, so I probably won't use all this chicken. That seems excessive even for me.
Where's your knife from?
This is from Chef's Knives To Go. My guy, Mark and Sue. And they're a local company, but they're only online. So like if you go online, Chef's Knives To Go.
Chef's Knives To Go.
They're not only the best people, they have the craziest Japanese knives. And
Got a cool angle at the end,
yeah,
you know?
I love it. And I only use it to chop up already cooked chicken.
That's the one thing I
It's
do.
the one thing I do. So already cooked chicken ready. I am gonna just distribute this a little bit, just to like warm it through. And paella to me is something that obviously it's great, like you can bring it out to the table and it's really beautiful. So you want to make it look nice before you destroy it. So like I like to just kind of move everything around. And then if you ever need to, like if you're doing it and you're like, oh, I need to season my paella while it's cooking and there's still liquid there, make sure you always like, and this is like no joke, like salt bay that thing from like way high up because you want it to distribute really well. If you're right here on top, it's really gonna just hit right there and it's liquid. So that part right there is just gonna be salt forever. So keep that in mind. Now I'm gonna make gambas al ajillo. Gambas al ajillo is shrimp and garlic oil with chili. There are many ways to make this. This is the quick and dirty at home on a Monday night with me in your house cooking it. So again, we're gonna whack up some garlic thin. Again, you could chop this up really fine. You could do whatever you want. You could make an oil ahead of time. Can you guys hear that paella? It's getting more violent, right? The bubbles are telling you it's getting closer. Like, pay more attention to me. Don't
Chef,
burn me.
Lynette wants to know, would you ever do another Food Network competition show? Have you been approached?
Is Lynette the one that keeps texting me?
Oh,
I'm just kidding, I'm
snap,
just
Lynette.
No, I think I would. It depends on when and kind of what that is, you know? Like, I think it would really depend a lot on what's going on in my life. You know, like I said, I don't like being away from my family very long, and they're almost always like in New York or in LA, so I think like that kind of would be the determining factor for me. So, garlic, not a small amount. We're all friends here, right?
I
have
always
one
like
more.
triple the garlic ask. It's so good.
I have one more clove, so I'm just gonna use it. Again, some chili to our bowl. I like that spice in there for this one especially. And then this one I'm using 16-year vinegar. You can use 1-year vinegar. You could use 2-day-old vinegar. I'm just bougie because I'm from L'Etoile. 16 years, baby. I'm gonna grab this crazy
Sherry
shrimp.
vinegar from Pedro Jimenez wine, which is great. Pedro Jimenez is like a really like sweet, dark kind of sherry, isn't it? It's darker.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've just decided that I'm gonna not do this one yet because I went out of order. Now.
So there must be a story to this question, but really quick, Sally says, or asks, will you share your recipe for Basque cake?
Oh.
It tastes so great after eating your paella.
With Pedro
I
Jimenez
have
on
only
it.
done
How would
it
you know
once.
to ask that? Do you make it at the restaurant?
Yeah,
Estrion.
the Basque cake at Estrion became very legendary. We used to always say, like, if you ate at Estrion, didn't have Basque cake, you didn't really eat there. It's definitely one of those kind of recipes that
Sad.
stays with us, and everyone really loves it. So we serve it at Graze now.
Okay.
For the people that are like, I hate you, I hate your stupid face, I care nothing about anything, give me Basque cake. I'm gonna start layering these vegetables that I still want kind of al dente. I'm gonna press them kind of in to my paella to finish. once, so you can see one paella is very dry, and one paella is not.
The one on the left?
The one on the left is cooking faster, and that's okay. One thing I'm not going to do is panic. Freak out, man! My paella! I ruined it. I worked for 15 minutes on that thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a quick shake. And you can kind of see, like, when you do that, it's all still moving around in there, one unit. But then this one, it's really loose, very liquidy. What this is showing me is where it's sticking already, so I can move it. Obviously, it's going to stick and be hotter where it's next to another flame. So I'm just doing that, and I'm going to press all my veg in. And then this is where you can taste the rice to see kind of like, hey, are you al dente? Are you mushy? Are you way undercooked? Do I need to add more stock to you? Are you perfect? Boom! It is, it's so good. So we're gonna let that hang. And then I'm gonna try to make some toasts really quick for you guys. They call these things pinchos, bocadillos, little things on bread. One thing that's funny to me in tapas lore is, oh yeah, like you go to a wine bar there, you order wine, you just get free food. They don't even charge you. It's just for ordering the wine, and that may have been the thing back in the day, but it ain't like that no more. So don't be like that crazy person that's like, where's the free stuff after you order your, €1 glass of wine. But I went to Spain, and when we were going to open Estrion, and I had something like this particular tapas, and blew my mind. So bread, Greek yogurt, not a small amount, and get the full fat yogurt. Crying out loud! You're having people over. You did the thing. You're cooking. You're making all this stuff. Full fat yogurt, nice and thick on there. This is nice again. Crusty bread. You'll see a theme with the crusty bread. Obviously, that is a thing. If you're gluten free, sorry. You can do it. You can still have gluten free stuff, and use gluten free bread or rolls or whatever you like.
Ginny at home, this is kind of a random question, but I like it. It's a good one. They want to win the wine. You're right. Are your kids adventurous eaters?
I'm going to say they used to be. When they were younger, they were definitely more like, yeah, I'll try that. I specifically remember my son Remy, who was 12, when he was a little baby, like he was like eating like mussels and scallops and stuff. We found out he had a mussel allergy. So that's, that was a fun night.
Oh no.
But yeah, so they are to a point, but like they like what they like. There's a lot of, like I said, I roast chicken a lot, I fry chicken a lot, I make pizza a lot. So this is some honey and some truffle spread or truffle puree. This was another controversial ingredient because I accidentally said truffle puree, and it's this truffle sauce or truffle puree or spread.
Hold it up, yeah.
Tartufa. Fancy. None of this stuff makes sense at all until you eat it. I'm telling you right now. Because you're like, oh yeah, bread, I feel you. Yogurt, okay, weirdo. Truffles and honey, that's gotta taste good. And then salmon. Salmon, that makes sense totally to me. Why does this taste good together? I don't know. So I'm hearing the water, the liquid totally evaporate. And this is where we're talking about sokarat and how to achieve the sokarat.
Sokarat is the crunchy rice in the bottom of the pan, yeah?
Yeah. And
it's the best part.
It is. It's the thing you're contractually obligated as a chef to say. It's what we all fought over as a kid. The crispy bits at the bottom while you were eating paella as a child. They're all lying.
Until you're talking about your grandmother, it's not even anything.
So I'm just going to put some of this salmon on here. And this is just store-bought again. Like if you are that person that's like, I'm going to smoke my own salmon, or I got a guy, do that. You can tell I do this often. I just peel this right off of here. Mm-hmm. And then
At the co-op, they have smoked salmon trim. It's like duck traps, smoked salmon trim, and these little things, and it's all just random pieces.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't
it's so
need to
much
look
cheaper,
Yeah.
and it's delicious. And the co-op sells out of it pretty quick, so you got to get there in the morning. But like lately, they've had more, and I've been very into it.
Yeah, I've been
It's trim, smoked salmon trim.
yeah, just the belly or like
So it's just
things
not
that
as
you
pretty.
just it's
Yeah.
not pretty. It's not the money pieces. But this doesn't need to be because it's gonna be so freaking good. Truffle honey over the top. Why? Why does it work so well? I don't know.
You had this in Spain?
I had something like this, and I have no idea why it was so good. It was I also kind of blacked out because it was the first time I had horse, so that was a situation for
You
me.
say horse?
Horse meat of a horse.
No.
Yeah, it happened,
Oh, Chelsea.
and I'm still alive.
Chelsea has horses. You have horses, right?
My mother does. Mine is still up there.
Well, it's
He's
not
old
like
now. He's ready to
I'm
be
sure we
eaten,
didn't
I'm
eat
sure.
your horse. Whoa.
Your horse.
Thank you. Okay, so there's that.
Yeah.
So again, if you're following along at home, there's a recipe, but it's really simple and delicious, nice and easy. Anything you want to do at home to put stuff on toast,
Chives.
you can do. So that's how you do your tapas party.
Yeah. Those are just chives that you snipped and made little
Yep,
tiny.
just chopped chives. Yep.
Top chives. That's it.
Okay, gambas. Back to that. I mean, and I know you could say, oh yeah, you put truffles on the thing, but without the fishiness and the saltiness, and without the weirdness of the Greek yogurt, to me,
It's tangy.
yeah, that tang, like everything together, and then you're like, I don't know, once you have it and the crunch of the bread, I love it so much.
Because the yogurt is giving you acid too. Like,
Yeah. So again, mucho garlic. Back to Gambas al Ajillo. And a lot of oil again.
this is one of my favorite things too. I love this.
Make sure you measure it. Again, we're gonna cold pan, turn it on. Meanwhile, if you have one of these fancy things, or if you just have a spoon, you can start to feel the bottom. Where is it sticking? Is it sticking? Yes. That's great. You want it to develop that without burning. How do you tell if it's burning versus sticking? You kind of gotta let go and let God, right? So I give it a quick shake,
It's not.
and then you wanna like play it. You gotta play it a little bit. So we put all that oil in there. A lot of it's absorbed, but your pan is gonna let it kind of start to glob onto that rice and caramelize it. And you definitely can burn this thing at this stage. So be careful. The paella rice, the socarrat is the thing you fight over. It really is, but it's also the thing that you could ruin your life with. So like, the first couple times, just let it happen. Turn it off.
If it burns, how bad is it really?
To me, I've eaten really burned paella and had the chef be like, "But it's the socarrat," and I'm like, "All right, guy."
Because I feel like if I burned it, I would just eat it.
Yeah, I definitely would. So really simple recipe. I have some shrimps. These are United States Gulf shrimp. You can use any shrimp you find if it has heads on it, if it's frozen. Just make sure, obviously, like you buy a nice product for this if you're gonna do it. Peel them if you can. If you can't peel them, if you want to get them already peeled into vein because you're just like, I'm just not dealing with that, go for it. But just, if you can, like I like to keep the
Tail.
little tails on there. Okay,
They're pretty
my
big.
garlic is happening. One thing that we used to do at the restaurant was we used to make this oil just like this, and then when we actually we would store it like that. So like we would put the shells in here, fry the shells in the oil. We would use like ancho chilies, like give it some depth of flavor. So if you're not making it a la minute like this, where it's like I'm making it, I'm going to serve it. You definitely could do that. And then we would use I've done that shrimp oil like on top of tapas or like on top of pizza. It's a really good condiment to have around if you
Do
can
you
make it.
store it in the fridge? Do you store it in
Store it in the fridge.
Store it in the fridge?
You strain it out, just store it in the fridge.
So you strain these things out?
Nope, this one we're eating these.
Oh.
But I'm saying like if you use the shells to make the oil and those other chilies, definitely.
Strain it out, okay.
Yep. So I'm gonna turn the paella off. This is the other thing that you need to do. Rest your paella. Rest it.
If
It's been working the whole time.
you don't, what happens?
If you just eat it right now, The bottom of the paella is going to be just really hard and feel like it's really stuck. This is going to redistribute and like let some of that energy kind of chill out, and like any of the juices from the vegetables is going to kind of go in there. And it just is like one of those things, like I like to garnish my paellas and I like them to look really pretty. But everyone always thinks I'm stalling when I do that. Because I'm just like, but I am resting it. I just like to rest. So again, same thing, light brown. Light brown. Put your shrimp in. That will stop the garlic from burning. And then
Smells like in the best way.
I got that thing cranked. Salt.
So pretty high heat.
As high as you can go. You pretty much want to cook this really fast.
Let's do a last call. We're at 6:50, so if anybody else has any more questions or in-house questions, feel free to ask them. I think right now my favorite question has been the cake question, because I didn't know that, and it was interesting to me, but I'll let you guys.
This is
decide.
good. I
way.
like you deciding.
Japanese mayo, yeah. This is Kewpie mayo, which I like. It has a little miso good in it. MSG. Don't believe the hype. It's good for you. It's fine. Mayo, sour cream. I make this sauce not just for paella. I love this sauce. Mayo, sour cream, a little bit of lime. I'm gonna put a serrano in it. Everyone at home, it might not be in your recipe. If you don't like chili, or if you do, don't be mad.
It is in your recipe. You can take the seeds out if you don't want it to be so spicy.
Who takes the seeds out?
I do.
Black pepper makes it zesty.
So Lori did ask, how do I get an invite to sit in the in-person audience? That's a great question that we should probably address every month. But the in-person audience is available only to Cap Times members, which everyone watching at home should be, unless you somehow hacked into the Zoom. But so watch your email.
You figured it out.
Every month we'll send an email out to Cap Times members, and you can register via that email. So you should have gotten an email. Keep your eyes peeled for those.
Put some avocado in there.
It's gonna be so creamy.
I like to take the avocado option. So you see in this edition of Can He Use It? Yes, he can.
So on that mayo, sorry, I ruined a perfect thing you had there. I'll let you go. So 2 people asked, where can you find the Kewpie mayo?
Ooh, you can buy it at Midway Asian Foods. Pretty much everywhere nowadays.
Viet Hoa is where I get mine in Monona.
Where?
Viet Hoa in Monona, on Monona Drive. So, but yeah, any like global market.
Okay, shrimp, vinegar. Going as fast as I can.
No,
I know
you're
there would be so
amazing.
much talking in the beginning.
No, you're fine. If we go over a little bit, I think everyone will.
A little bit of vinegar. How much? It's in the recipe.
And can you remind us again what you do with the shrimp shells? You were using it in a broth, right?
I put them. I put them in the broth in the beginning.
Yeah.
For the paella.
They're so aromatic. Tons of that garlic, the chili. What herbs?
I'm
are
gonna tell
putting
you
in?
probably not to eat the chili if you don't want to.
I probably wouldn't. Yeah.
Also, I'm not counting. I'm not counting these. So like, if you don't get enough, I'm sorry.
I noticed you're serving like by a couple. Is there something sort of communal about Spanish food?
It's
would you say?
totally communal,
Yeah.
and it's totally about that party and just like having people over. You never make like a small amount of anything. You just do the thing. Same thing. Olive oil. It becomes a dipping sauce. So like, if you like, I don't have enough bread.
That's right. You got some more bread on there.
I have more bread that I will cut, but I like to throw it in there.
Doreen asks, can you use aged balsamic vinegar instead of sherry vinegar?
You can, but you'll hurt my soul. Just kidding. Do what you like. You're in your own home. Do whatever you want. If you like balsamic better, then go for that. Sorry. You betcha. Okay, now things are gonna get super weird. So, but yeah, you can use literally whatever you want. I think it really, the balsamic is gonna be very sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just in a pan. It was literally just in the pan.
Don't burn yourself. Oh my goodness.
Okay, how are we gonna finish? We're gonna slice some tomatoes.
Those are beautiful.
These are from Don's Produce.
Don's
Market.
Produce. Don and Mary. They are amazing, and they're at the Monona Market too.
Yeah, they're so great.
They're great. They're year round. I see them year round.
So Mary's asking, she has a shrimp allergy. So what would you suggest substituting out?
For this?
Yeah.
If you then I don't think you should make gambas al ajillo because it's shrimp and garlic oil.
Mary, don't make this.
Don't make it. I mean, if you're not allergic to like other shellfish, like you could use crab legs or
Okay,
you know, things of that nature.
That's a good one.
I like to, like I said, I like to make it look nice. So I put the tomatoes kind of around on top,
Does look nice.
and then
The chanterelles are pretty in there too.
This is it.
oh gosh, it actually tastes super good. I'm gonna slice some quick radish.
We got French breakfast radishes in our CSA this week.
So nice.
So they're
Who do you have a
beautiful.
CSA through?
Vitruvian.
Oh,
My
legit.
husband does a worker share with Lauren. They both do the worker share. So we've been getting gorgeous spring carrots, which would also think be really delicious.
It smells so good in here.
So this is exactly what my kitchen would look like too. So like, if you're playing along at home, and your place is trashed, that's what it's
doing it
supposed to be.
right.
You did it.
This is cleaner than what mine would look like if I ever tried.
I have a little bit of pea vines. These are from Rootstown, but I'm gonna put these on absolutely last.
From where?
From Rootstown Farm.
Oh yeah. Kyle.
You betcha. So
Kyle.
if you have a nice little squeeze bottle or a piping bag or something, you could put that on there. But clearly, good old-fashioned spoon does the thing. And again, like, super not traditional, but like, you'll see when you taste it. Like, you want that little bit of spice and the cilantro and the herb, the fattiness of the mayo and the sour cream and everything together. I mean, because you put all those veg in there, you don't want it to be too healthy, you know? You know what I'm saying, Lauren? Not too healthy. So then I do a little bit of this, pea vines on top.
So pretty.
And then I like to finish a little bit of lime zest. And more olive oil. You gotta do a little drizzle. And then at Estron, we famously did salt bay the thing because there is all kinds of raw vegetables on top of there, and you just really want to season it. I'll put it, because you brought it out, I'll put a little pepper in. I think you guys are still good though.
Help me go through it.
And that is the paella. I don't know if you can see it. Kaboom! Look at that thing. 2 paellas. I have one of these flat spatulas, and I always like to say, like, you're gonna destroy it, so bring it out to the table. I personally like to get in there and scrape to get that crispy bottom rice.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, there it is. This crunchy bit right here.
Yeah, you can see. You want some of that, and some people like eat the top off, and then they have the crunchy just all there. I like to just do this because it's kind of like mixing a salad at this point. You get a little bit of everything.
Becca, this audience is great. Becca would love an overhead camera shot.
Oh my god!
Please,
Can we do it?
if possible. I'm not sure.
I mean, I don't
we
want
can set
to
him up in the.
ruin Kessenich's counter.
Oh, Lauren, will.
There it is. That's as close as I can
There
get.
it is.
It's a really heavy pan. I hope it was worth it.
Is it a cast iron pan?
It's a carbon steel, actually.
steel.
So not nonstick, importantly, because I feel like that would jack it up. What you're
Okay.
doing right here,
Correct. You don't want to do that. And then
right?
You also don't want to like, run this through like the dishwasher or anything like that. So I don't really know. I think we just serve it, right? Everyone just eats them.
So I don't know. What do you guys think for best question? I like the cake one, but should we just do everybody? What does everybody else
The
think?
secret of the bass cake. The bass cake was so moist and lovely. I feel like that's why people are obsessed
really
with it.
I love hearing about particular dishes in the Madison, that people resonate so well with them.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was one of those things. It's kind of like, like the Harmony Bar, like walnut burger. You
Right,
can't ever change that.
The budino at Papavero.
Yeah, and it's like you
Like
go
stuff
there.
like that people are like,
Yes.
you go for this. I love hearing about that. Okay,
Was it
Sally
Mickey's,
Andrews,
the sexy fries
you are
were
the
a while-
wine bottle winner. If you stop by Leopold's Books Bar Cafe on Regent Street,
Congratulations.
say you are the winner. You will take that home.
I just got the new Eric Kim Korean American cookbook, and it's,
Oh yeah.
I just started reading it, but it's excellent so far. So if you're going to Leopold's anyway, pick up a cookbook, because that's one that I'm already excited about it. It just came out.
And you can see, obviously, like when you taste this, it's like we made it kind of on the fly, but it has like a depth of flavor. It has all of those rich kind of things. I'm gonna bring you some more once I crack this thing open over here. Has anyone made paella at home and you're secretly sitting there like, you suck at making paella? That's not how I do it. No, yeah, that's awesome. I love when people get outside the regular kind of comfort zone.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah, do you guys
Lindsay
have
and
any
Chef,
questions?
before we-
Where can people find you if they want to follow you on the interwebs?
Oh man, you find me at tmills608 on Instagram. That's where I am the most professionally, and that's where I post like most of my stuff. Chef Tory on Facebook. At the farmers market. Good thing this isn't Plum. I'm sure it'll be easy. At the farmers market on Saturdays.
With a big wagon.
With a huge wagon.
Big wagon.
But yeah, man, and it's summertime, so you can see like the beautiful colors, like all the flavors. Like, I mean, this is like what you want. And this is very doable on the grill, like Lindsay said. As long as you have a grill that you can kind of trust and control and you know how to use that. But, and you can just like rip it the whole way as long as you can stand there and just like watch it. So, oh man, I made too many. I'm just gonna keep
No, you're good.
And again, like no rules, man. Like you can put literally anything you want into this as long as you start with that base, right? So like carrot, celery, onion, pepper, tomato, garlic, stock, paprika. You could put saffron, you could put other herbs in there. You could do anything you want. To me, that's why I love cooking so much, because like I love flavor. I like to mess with everything.
Nice. Thank you. Heck, I'll take this one.
And kind of make everything how you want to do it in the long run. So that's it.
Yeah. If you want more recipes of Tory's, and there are 3 of them in the Madison Chef's book,
That's correct.
including for the bibimbap.
Talk about your book for a sec.
I will.
Plug.
Woohoo! Yeah, the Madison Chef's book. There's the bibimbap is in there. There's carrots with hickory nuts and blue cheese that came from Itaru, and then there's also the kohlrabi salad.
And
we
it
put in
is
there.
not just a Madison Chef's book, but it is one done by our very own Lindsay Christians.
But those were great. I tested all of them at home and they're delicious. So.
Thank you guys so much. Thanks
Yes,
everybody
thank
at home.
you. Thank you.
Yes, a round of applause for Chef.
Yay.
Just thanking our sponsors one more time. Our official kitchen sponsor, Pasquale's, our official kitchen sponsor, Kessenich. Our presenting sponsor, Pasquale's Cantina, and our official wine pairing sponsor, Leopold's Books Bar Cafe. Our next Cooking with the Cap Times will be July 21st. So keep an eye on captimes.com and our social media to get a heads up for registration. That one is now going to be open to the public, but like I said earlier, only the in-person spots are open to Cap Times members like yourselves, so watch your email. Okay, that's all I've got. Thank you guys so much. Thank you again.
Thank you. Bye.